News 13, news, weather, and sports are next.
What caused a local man to hold his 4-year-old son hostage for 8 hours?
The man's friends and police are talking about yesterday's standoff. You'll hear what they think next on News 13 at 6.
News 13, your news station, WMBB, Panama City, Florida. Live from the WMBB TV studios, this is News 13 at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for having us in for news this evening. I'm Tom Lewis.
And I'm Amy Hoyt. 21-year-old Simon Bobby Smith is now in the Bay County Jail after spending a night under psychiatric evaluation at Bay Medical Center. He is charged with carrying a concealed weapon, false imprisonment, and fugitive from justice charges. Scott Malden tells us what Smith's friends and authorities say led up to the hostage situation and these new charges.
The young man who held a shiny silver handgun to his head and cradled his son in one arm on a post office porch was fighting a turbulent personal life.
Pressure gets on you is something that just happens.
Hudgens said Smith, an Atlanta native, was under pressure from managing the Lamplighter Motel his father owns. Authorities agree that personal troubles led Smith to threaten a murder-suicide.
He's going through some type of a custodial procedure with his common-law wife, and he had put me on notice that before he would turn the child over to his common-law wife, he would shoot the child and then shoot himself.
Captain Mooring was the hostage negotiator who sat with Smith throughout the standoff. He said Smith had an ongoing child custody battle with his common-law wife. He had lost his mother in a car accident and recently had a quarrel with his father. Smith also told local police he was wanted by Georgia authorities on charges of sexual activity with a 13-year-old girl.
For the whole 8 hours that I spoke with him, he was on an emotional roller coaster. At times he was completely rational, and at other times I feared for the child's safety.
The final outcome was peaceful, Smith being taken for psychological evaluation at Bay Medical Center and 4-year-old Sammy being placed in the custody of his grandfather. In Panama City Beach, Scott Malden, News 13.
Smith will remain in the Bay County Jail until Georgia authorities extradite him on fugitive from justice charges stemming from his reported sexual misconduct with a 13-year-old girl.
But yesterday, Beach police successfully talked a desperate man out of killing himself. But today, Lynn Haven police never really got the chance. A teenager apparently shot himself in his ex-girlfriend's house. And as Leah Williams tells us, police just arrived when it all happened.
I was driving by and I saw a policeman behind trees and their motorcycle and off the side of the garage.
Neighbors were shocked to see police, guns drawn, surrounding this Lynn Haven house on Main Avenue. Police were responding to a 911 call about a domestic disturbance involving a gun.
When the officers showed up, they could hear a girl inside crying and kind of screaming. They knocked on the door and identified herself, and she never answered. And they knocked on the windows and they could hear her crying some more, and they identified herself some more. Then they heard a gunshot.
The girl was a 17-year-old Mosley High School student. The gunshot was her ex-boyfriend shooting himself in the head, police say. Neighbors say eventually the police led a young girl from around the corner of the house. She was visibly upset and barely clothed. Police say the ex-boyfriend came to the house while her parents were at work. The couple argued for a short time. Then the boy found a gun inside the house and shot himself. No further details are available. The incident will be ruled a suicide unless further evidence is discovered. In Lynn Haven, Leah Williams, News 13.
Lynn Haven police believe that the 911 call was made by the girl's current boyfriend. She had apparently called him while her ex-boyfriend was there in the house. Well, it turns out 4 suspects in yesterday's Malone bank robbery all have ties to Chipola Junior College. All 4 made their first court appearances this morning with their families standing by. As Ed McNeil reports, Chipola administrators are also taking notice.
It's the scene that's becoming too familiar. Chipola college students arrested for serious crimes. Less than a month ago, basketball player Tamika Lowe was charged with kidnapping and armed robbery, and Tuesday morning saw 3 of the college's finest students in serious trouble. Ryan Bowen, Joseph Ham, and Charles Cruz are charged with false imprisonment and armed robbery, all standout students in the school's drama department. Juan Ocampo, a former student, is charged as a principal to armed robbery. The men made their first appearances in court this morning. As the news about the bank robbery travels around campus, the reaction from President Dale O'Daniel is shock and amazement.
We are a cross-section of society, our student body is, and we read and we see movies and we hear about things happening like this, but for it to be 3 of our own is a shock.
The question administration is asking is shared by friends and family of the accused. What caused the young men with such bright futures to go so far? Family members wouldn't talk with us on camera, but did say these are good young men, and they can't imagine what could push them to such lengths. Did you do it, sir? Did you rob the bank?
No, sir.
You did?
Did rob the bank? No, sir.
And as in the case with Tamika Lowe, Chipola College officials are keeping a close watch on the case.
There's many different levels of action that can take place, the most serious of which, for our rules and regulation, is complete expulsion from school.
But possible expulsion from school is the least of their concerns right now. They're faced with charges that could send them to prison for the rest of their lives. In Mariana, Ed McNeil, News 13.
All four of the suspects are being held on $100,000 bond each in Jackson County. One of them was shot as he ran from the bank yesterday and was treated and released into police custody.
A Washington County drug smuggler is headed to federal prison for 8 years. Federal Judge Lacey Collier imposed that sentence today on Gerald Ward. When Ward gets out of prison, he'll be under supervised release for 5 years. This is Ward and his son, UC Scott, leaving federal court last year. Now, the father and son team took delivery of 380 pounds of Mexican marijuana last year. The men who delivered the drugs were undercover federal officers. Prosecutors say the Wards had taken delivery on 11 loads of Mexican pot from a man who became a federal informant. Scott Ward received a three-year prison term from Collier just last month.
Lynn Haven police are trying to find the man who robbed a fast food outlet over the weekend. Maybe you have the information they need. Here's more on this week's Crime Stoppers.
Hello, I'm Deborah Pill with Crime Stoppers. The Lynn Haven Police Department is currently investigating an armed robbery which occurred last Saturday, February the 21st, at this Domino's Pizza located at 1616 Ohio Avenue. At approximately 8:43 p.m., a suspect entered the store and approached the manager. The suspect demanded and received an undisclosed amount of money from the manager and 2 other employees. He then fled the store on foot. The suspect was armed with a small blue handgun and had his face concealed behind some type of net which he was wearing on his head. The robber is described as a male, 5 feet 8 inches tall, 165 to 175 pounds, and was last seen wearing a blue hood-type jacket and dark-colored jeans. Crime Stoppers is offering a cash reward of up to $1,000 for the information that places this individual in jail. If you have information, please call Crime Stoppers at 785-TIPS.
The half-cent sales tax referendum is now in the bag, and Bay District School Board members are deciding just how to spend the money. They held a facilities workshop today, earmarking just where the cash will go. They also started organizing a citizens oversight committee. That group will monitor the board's progress and publish quarterly reports. School board members say they're implementing the group to prove that all the sales tax money will go towards facilities and new schools, not for salary hikes.
Well, speaking of hikes, I don't think we want a hike. It's been great, the weather-wise anyway. Captain Norm joining us now with the first look from the Storm Team 13 Weather Lab. Norm?
Thank you. News 13's exclusive True Doppler showing a little buildup of some showers out in the plains that are headed our way. Not as bad as it once looked. Let's check our temperature reading. Very mild right now. 64 degrees at the airport. Our lows tonight should be on the mild side as well. 45 to 48 with the cooler readings inland. We have some rain on the way for tomorrow. We'll discuss that later.
How far should your boss or your government be able to bend your civil rights?
We'll take a look at that and the rest of the test results in our News 13 drug test series coming up next.
You're watching News 13, your news station, with anchors Tom Lewis and Amy Hoyt. From the Storm Team Weather Lab, Captain Norm Miller and Brian Davis Sports. News 13 at 6 will continue.
Good news from Del Champs. Starting very soon, these managers are going to make it much less expensive to feed your family with this, the new Del Champs Gold Card.
And today is sign-up day.
They say the new Del Champs Gold Card gives you overly generous discounts on things you buy every day.
Just show it at the checkout, and before you know it, you save thousands.
Thousands? Wow, I'm ready to shop.
Do one little thing first.
What's that?
Get a Gold Card.
Gotcha. Good news from Del Champs. Starting very soon, these managers are going to make it much less expensive to feed your family with this, the new Del Champs Gold Card.
And today is sign-up day.
They say the new Del Champs Gold Card gives you overly generous discounts on things you buy every day.
Just show it at the checkout, and before you know it, you save thousands.
Thousands? Wow, I'm ready to shop.
Do one little thing first.
What's that?
Get a Gold Card.
Gotcha. Good news from Del Champs. Starting very soon, these managers are going to make it much less expensive to feed your family with this, the new Del Champs Gold Card.
And today is sign-up day.
They say the new Del Champs Gold Card gives you overly generous discounts on things you buy every day.
Just show it at the checkout, and before you know it, you save thousands.
Thousands? Wow, I'm ready to shop.
Do one little thing first.
What's that?
Get a Gold Card.
Gotcha. Good news from Del Champs. Starting very soon, these managers are going to make it much less expensive to feed your family with this, the new Del Champs Gold Card.
And today is...
Closed captioning is brought to you by Gulf Coast Eye Clinic, providing comprehensive medical and surgical eye care for Bay County since 1973.
We're winding down what has turned out to be one of the most talked about projects in the history of News 13, the official drug test.
Over the last 2 days, you've heard a lot of public debate over the issue of drug testing elected officials. Linda Powell now joins us for some more results tonight and more on the officials who turned down the request. Linda?
And with good reason. Let's go ahead and begin tonight with our constitutional officers and some of the other elected officials here in Bay County. The sheriff, the supervisor of elections, tax collector, clerk of the court, all took the test and all passed. State Representative Scott Clemens made several appointments at Bay Walk-In Clinic, but couldn't keep those appointments because of some scheduling problems. As many of you know, he travels quite frequently to and from Tallahassee. As for State Attorney Jim Appleman, he took the test and he too passed. There's another group of elected officials who received our request. They are the people who interpret the laws. We're talking about our circuit and county judges. Now, this is what we were told by Chief Judge Judy Pittman. She says, quote, "We feel like we cannot participate or comment on drug testing or other legal issues that come before us." She says it could cause a conflict of interest for a judge, and that if they did take the test, it could cause them to have to recuse themselves from any drug testing cases that might come before them in the future. And that would ultimately cost the taxpayers money because the case would have to go to another judge outside of the county or the circuit. And now for the city of Panama City, the only commissioner to take the test is Jonathan Wilson. Now, Panama City unanimously passed its drug-free workplace policy in the spring of 1995. It calls for pre-employment, reasonable suspicion, and post-accident testing, but no random testing. It also requires the city workers, or reduces rather, the city workers' comp costs by about $35,000 a year. Commissioners Bob Barnard and John Pilcher voted for that policy, but declined to take our test.
We said we don't have a random policy, but if you're driving a city vehicle and you have an accident, we're going to test.
Right.
But as far as just arbitrarily walking up to some employee and saying we want to do a drug test, no, we don't do that.
Okay, some cities do and some don't. It's just depending on the various policies.
Yeah.
Like Lynn Haven does. They do a random, type deal all the time.
We may do it for some heavy equipment operators, I'm not sure, but as a general rule, we don't do that. But we do test when they, and have, I guess, for a couple of years. I'm not sure how long. We do.
Now, the mayor told us that he would not make a special trip to Bay Walk-In Clinic for a test, but he did offer us the results of his last physical, and he says that the city's policy isn't by any means overbearing. One Panama City commissioner standing up and shouting out loud what others refuse to say publicly. Catherine Handline is new to the Panama City commission, and did not have to vote on the policy that is in place there. She spoke with us at great length and shares her reasons for declining the drug test. Panama City Commissioner and business owner Catherine Handline knows what it's like to take a drug test, but not because we asked her to.
I've been in business for 10 years, so I was rather alarmed when I realized, even though I've had to take a drug test myself to keep this business and to get insurance, SBA loan, it alarmed me when I found out how many people are subjected to this on a daily basis.
Handline worries about the country's direction when, in this day and age, governments and private employers can hire and fire a person based on a urine test and not his or her productivity. She suggests Big Brother is corporate America.
I don't have to be subjected to what so many companies are now subjecting their employees to: seizures, searches of automobiles and lockers and purses. The last I heard, the police have to have a search warrant, but your boss doesn't.
But some of our other elected officials view drug testing differently.
I think that in the interest of the common good, sometimes we all have to do things that we might not really want to do.
If you have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't be afraid to take a drug test.
Not you have something to hide, you must believe in drugs, you must think drugs are, that's not the case. There are some of us that still value the Constitution, that still value our privacy.
And Handline also thinks the trend can continue.
If we can become immune to violence after seeing it so often and so much, then I think we're becoming immune to this sort of interference in our private life. And I think it's time for people to start really questioning who's asking them for what.
Now, some also wonder if drug testing programs don't end up costing companies more money than the financial breaks they get from the insurance companies. Tom and Amy, tonight at 10, we'll take another look at some of the issues and wrap this thing up.
Well, are there any more arguments as far as the insurance companies go?
Yeah, some worry that it could become a way for the insurance industry to do like genetic testing, and then they could deny someone coverage or even employment because they say, I don't know, have a genetic predisposition to cancer or maybe heart disease. So that's one argument. And Handline brought up some interesting points, and we'll be sharing a lot more of that with you tonight at 10, too.
All right, Linda, we'll look forward to that.
job.
Excellent
Thanks.
series so far.
Well, the Storm Team 13 Weather Lab forecast coming up in a moment.
And later, a do-or-die game going on at Gulf Coast Community College.
Thanks, Tom. One spot left in the state tournament, but two teams don't want to get there. Chipola and TCC in a dogfight tonight. We're going to tell you all about the game coming up later in sports.
There's more news straight ahead from News 13.
You'll find more trucks and pay less for them at the new Tommy Thomas Truck Outlet. Right now, you can choose from over 350 new and used trucks, and each is prepared immediate delivery. Price and selection have never been better, and you'll make your best deal now. For a limited time, lease a new 98 S10 for just $169 per month. Lease a new full-size extended cab two-wheel drive for just $279. Plus, every make and model of truck, van, and sport utility can be found in like-new condition in our pre-owned truck selection. Want a new truck? You'll find the one you're looking for now at the Truck Outlet of Tommy Thomas Chevrolet.
Tommy Thomas Chevrolet, a tradition you can trust.
Norm's in with weather. A beautiful day, but it's going to come to an end, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it was our third of three goodies in a row. Let's have a look out through the city cam and see what's left of it there. Well, it's pretty, isn't it? 72 degrees in Mariana. Nice and mild. 64 Panama City at the airport, on the beach 63, Tyndall Air Force Base 63. Relative humidity 56%. Dew point at 48 and the barometer 30.02. It's on a falling trend as the front approaches. Winds out of the south, 8 at the airport and 12 at Tyndall. This will really breeze up tomorrow. Offshore southwest winds 15 knots, a 5-foot sea, water temp of 68 out there in the tall water. Let's have a look at river stages. Caryville, boy, this is playing right at the edge. 12 feet is bank full. It's been just about that much below it for the past several days. It probably will ride that way a while and then recede. Chipola on its way down 13.49, 19.50 Bluntstown. It's been doing the same thing, staying about this level, which is almost 5 feet above bank full. And at the Jim Woodruff Dam, 60.08. Let's look at some high temps today from the weather watchers, the warmest being, and this was one of the coolest tonight, 84, Sand Hills, Elaine Bragg. Vicksburg, Liz McHenry, 76, Mexico Beach, Betty Rowland, 68, White City, Gene Stiebel, 75. 78 from Bristol, Tom Flowers, in their high. Harry Miller is 70, Sycamore, same thing. Vicki Butler in Wausau. Up in Bonifay, Gene Ketcherside is 74 high. Caryville, Bill Shork is 71. To Phoenix Springs, Kathy Doring is 72. The current temps from the Weather Service station show it's cooler along the coast. The Gulf waters in here along the beaches running about 59 to 62 degrees depending on the time of day. So still holding the heat in. Let's have a look at News 13's exclusive True Doppler. Have to go way up on the large range. Some showers over northern Texas and parts of Oklahoma, very slowly headed this way. Let's look at our clouds and see what's taking place aloft. And here you can see just a few fingers of clouds beginning to build up. Very broken pattern. That gives us about a 30% chance of showers tomorrow before dark and 50-50 afterward. Here's the way it's shaping up. The front just beginning to form and move into the coastal waters of Texas and Louisiana right now. And strong upsurge of southerly winds. I'll show you in a little bit how strong. Right now the tides down to about 1.5 foot range. They'll decrease going into the weekend. Low at 7:45 in the morning for Panama City. High at 10:30, late morning and or late night, I should say, almost around midnight for those high tides and late morning for the low tides for Port St. Joe. Perfect example. with the high tide right at midnight. For Apalachicola, the other way around, the first one's the best. Highest high tide for Appalachia at 3 in the morning. Lowest low tide 11 o'clock in the morning. A couple of smaller tides here, 4:45 high and a 10:30 low. Coastal rain forecast for tomorrow kind of outlines what I was talking about, increasing southerly winds south, getting up there about 25 to 30 knots. That's good for a small craft advisor in any book. This will amount to 8 to 10 foot seas. Big ones. There's no place to hide from that south wind on this coast. It'll be rough in bay waters. Forecast then for tonight, a clear sky. It'll cloud up very, very late tonight, actually in the small hours, the dark hours of the morning. Low of 45 inland, about a 48 on the coast with a southeast wind to hold up these temps a little bit better than last night. Tomorrow, cloudy, 30% chance of showers, mainly in the afternoon, high of 72. Southeast winds 10 to 20. You won't escape that wind over land. And our best chance of rain in Bay County, although it could be earlier to the west. 50-50 chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night. Some could be severe. Could be some biggies in that mess. Low of 55 to 60. Here's our extended forecast as we look forward to another week's worth of weather. And you can see we go all over the place. Friday, get some sunshine, a few clouds. Saturday, get some thunderstorms again. For Sunday, back to partly cloudy conditions and pretty much stay that way first part of next week. But kind of hate to see that stuff bounce back on a Saturday. We have an umbrella for it from Bailick and Mercury Dodge. Today's umbrella goes to Virginia McCready from Mexico Beach. And here's the address in case you want to copy it down. Box 1340 and 32402 are the keys on there. Put your name and phone number.
It's going to cool off a little bit, too. Not a lot, but
yeah, right after the rain.
All right. Thanks, Norm.
Thanks a lot, Norm. I want to take just a minute to welcome Amy back to the set tonight, first of all, but second of all, to say that I am so proud of you for the job you did last night on the thing. I thought you brought excellent coverage to that story and experience, and I just wanted to say you did a great job.
Well, thanks. The people behind the scenes really make us look
good. It was a good team effort, but Amy did a great job out there on that story, and fortunately, it ended happily. That's the best news. Well, coming up in sports, it's Miami versus Miami today in baseball. You'll see the highlights.
And Chipola's entire season rides on tonight's game. Our own Brian Davis is on the scene at Gulf Coast.
And tonight it's Tallahassee that stands the way. We'll have a live report coming up in sports.
Well, the South loves trucks, it's all there is to it. For work or play, just get out and do it.
The truck stop of the New South.
The new Dodge.
The truck stop of the New South.
Here's a Dodge Ram created just for the New South with two-tone paint, chrome wheels, a Magnum V6, and an especially low $198 a month lease. So it's sure to go especially fast.
The truck stop of the New South.
The truck stop of the New South.
Are you with me? All right, let's go get him. Come on, guys. All right, let's hit the hardwood. Come on. Let's take the floor. All right.
No one can walk away from Colonel Sanders' original recipe chicken. It's irresistible. Now get a leg and a thigh, mashed potatoes and gravy, coleslaw, a biscuit, and a medium drink for just $3.99. $3.99. I'm begging you now. Is that an extra drumstick? March Madness. Isn't it time for some really good chicken?
ABC Tonight celebrates America's funniest night on television with all new shows.
Wow, I should buy diamond underpants or something.
The countdown to Drew's wedding is on, and everybody's helping out.
Can I have your attention? Now that Drew Carey's getting married, I have a petition here to make it against the law for him to breed.
Then a new Ellen that's guaranteed to make you laugh hysterically.
Remember this number. That's how much you'll save during Heilig Meyer's 21% off sale. An extra 21% off our regular low prices on all furniture. 21% off. Every bedroom, 21% off. Every dining room, 21% off. Every living room, 21% off. All furniture store-wide, plus 11% off all electronics and appliances. Heilig Meyer's 21% off sale. You gotta love that number.
You're watching News 13, your news station, winner of more Associated Press awards for excellence than any other local newscast. Visit us on our website at WMBB.com.
We're live here at Gulf Coast Community College. A huge basketball game set to tip off just about an hour from now, but it does not involve the Gulf Coast Commodores. Tonight, this is a neutral site, and it's Chipola and TCC that will go head-to-head for a trip to the state tournament. Now, these two teams have gone at it 3 times already this season. Right now, they're tied for second place with 7-5 conference records. Only one team can use that second-place berth to the state tournament. Chipola has already played one must-win game this week. The Indians taking down Okaloosa Walton in a double overtime thriller. That was a game they had to have, and tonight is no different.
Obviously, it's everything. It gets you into the regional tournament right here at Chipola. So it's a do-or-die situation. Somebody's going to be packing their clothes up and getting ready for next year, and somebody else is going to be moving on. So it's a big game for us. We've had a great year. We've got 22 wins under our belt. Obviously, we'd like to have another one, but it's been another great year for Chipola basketball, and hopefully we can keep it going.
We caught up with Coach Nash just before he and his team jumped on the bus. They are here at Gulf Coast now, and there's nothing they can do now but wait. It should be a great game. TCC was ranked the #1 JUCO team in the country at one point, but tonight they will be without their leading scorer during the regular season, Mike DeGrew. He's been suspended indefinitely from the team because of some legal problems. Now, are you ready to rumble? Because they surely are. The game tips off tonight at 7:30. Admission is $2, and they expect a packed house here at Gulf Coast Community College. One of the players you're going to see, the Conference Player of the Year, Chris Porter, a guy a lot of people say may make it to the NBA one day. And, of course, News 13 Sports will be here all night long. We'll have the highlights and post-game reaction. That's all coming up tonight at 10. Well, let's turn our focus to baseball for just a moment. The Gulf Coast Commodores had jumped out to a pretty good start this season, 7-2. That was before yesterday when they dropped 2 on the road. Now, there's no reason for worry now. It was up in Andalusia, Alabama, where the Commodores just couldn't find their offense, and that's what Coach Darren Mazurowski was talking about to his team today at practice. Wallace held Gulf Coast to only 4 hits in the entire doubleheader, something the team is obviously not proud of. But as Coach Nash says, there's nothing to worry about just now.
Everybody's decided that now's the time to go into a slump. So we didn't have a very productive day on the road yesterday, but it's, in a long season, you're going to have spells like that. So it's really nothing to panic about on February 25th.
We're the only people that can beat us. That's what I believe. If we play hard, there should no team beat us. Of course, that's baseball. Baseball, you're going to win and lose, but I think if we don't beat ourselves, we're going to do all right.
Gulf Coast doesn't start its conference schedule until the middle of March, so they have plenty of time to get it all together. In the meantime, the Doors are back in action Friday at Bill Frazier Field for Game 1 of a 2-game series against Shelton State. Coming up tonight at 10, Dina Falco is going to give us an in-depth look at the Doors and tell us what we can expect for the upcoming season. More baseball for you. This is the 2 Miami teams going at it. The Florida Marlins versus the University of Miami. That's the University of Miami. The Canes getting a hit here in the first inning. They would actually take a 2-0 lead. Lead, though, that would evaporate later on. Here's Darren Jackson for the Marlins. The right fielder going yard. That ball is gone, and the Marlins would go on to win 9-2. That would be the final score in that one. The Florida Marlins getting the win over their brethren, their college brethren, just across the street at the campus in Miami. One interesting note involving college baseball, the Florida State Seminoles, tomorrow they'll play the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, the first game ever for the expansion team down in Tampa. Coach Mike Martin says his team does not stand a chance, but it's happened before, so we'll see about that game tomorrow. That does it for sports. Stay right where you are. News 13 at 6 is coming right back.
Women's Health Alliance. The facts you need to take charge of your health. Call 1-800-4Women-1.
I waited 12 hours after the heart attack to see a doctor.
You get older, you go through menopause, you start to wrinkle, you get a little dumpy.
Stay tuned to find out how to join the Women's Health Alliance. For $19.95 a year, you'll get personal wellness tips and the medical information to help you take charge of your health.
Women who take oral contraceptives and smoke are at increased risk.
They can live longer, healthier lives on hormone replacement therapy.
To join the Women's Health Alliance, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-4Women-1. For just $19.95 a year, you'll receive quarterly Women's Health Alliance magazines and monthly bulletins filled with women's health news and information, and soon discounts on health books, eyeglasses, fitness equipment, insurance, and more. Call today to join the Women's Health Alliance. The facts you need to take charge of your health. Call 1-800-4Women-1. That's 1-800-496-6361.
If you believe it's not just where you're going in life, it's how you get there. Get to the National Chrysler and Plymouth event. Get $1,000 cash back on Chrysler Cirrus, loaded with luxury features. Lease America's favorite convertible, Sebring, for just $299 a month. Get $1,500 cash back on the sporty Plymouth Neon. Or get $750 cash back on the lowest priced minivan, Plymouth Voyager. Get to the National Chrysler and Plymouth event, only at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
That'll do it for us here at 6.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you tonight at 10.
Hi, I'm Marcus Michaels with the law firm of Kerrigan, Estes, Rankin & McLeod. Get your questions answered. Watch The Law Show, Sunday at 5 on News 13.